Hello and welcome to Geek at Play Studio tutorial. Okay, and one other option I want to show you that is very useful when you create your terrain, and you can achieve actually very interesting results with this. So let's create fractal terrain. It actually doesn't matter which one we're creating. We'll just scale up. Okay, we'll take our camera, maybe repositioning so we can preview a little bit better. Also, what we're going to do now, we on our terrain, we'll go open material editor, and we're going to create hypertexture, and we'll look what this can kind of effects provide us with. So to do this, right here we need enable the volumetric material. Okay, when volumetric material enable, let's go to lighting and effects, and in lighting model we change to hypertexture. If you look right now, this point is almost like nothing seems to change, but now we can work on a density and colors. Let's do something very fast. So we'll go to edit function, and inside function we'll just add noise, and let's make a little bit smaller to this point. Let's click OK. And here's interesting things. Now when we render, you can see this is creating very interesting kind of effect, like almost eating through the ground. So this is again the hypertexture will affect, and you can see it's like in three-dimensional, so it's removing. It's another ways. We're done with this one. Let's do a couple more interesting things till we're here. Okay, I want to just increase slightly, and we Control C, Control V, so copy paste. I want just slightly reduce here, and we'll just reduce a little bit. So what I'm going to do is create one texture above. We'll create one just slightly below. Okay, next we'll go change this material, and we'll just set default material. Let's go to edit. Let's go to change maybe something radioactive green kind of color, and in effects I want pop-up luminosity a little bit and enable glowing as well. Let's look on our material hyper, what we did right now. You notice we actually have it kind of main material, and we also have a submaterial. By changing this submaterial, you can actually apply different type of, okay, so let's say this rock, and then you notice now we still have it all this effect, all this multiple layers and mixed material stuff going on, but we apply hypertexture above this. So again, if we look right now, let me do this way, decreasing, so we can preview, and you can see we have it right now kind of interesting. Maybe this material is not the greatest choice, so let's maybe change it and replace with something else we used before. Okay, preview, and you can see now we have kind of very interesting effects going on with the glowing models right here. So let's take our camera. I'll just play a little bit more with this. Move it more away, look down. Okay, also we can go ahead, select these two terrains, and just alt and copy, replicate them twice so we can see it. Okay, pop up a little bit one, we'll select another one, and as well increasing, maybe resizing, so we'll just have a little bit different look. Okay, take this one and as well resize also. Okay, let's go take our sun, reposition again. Here I'm just kind of try to readjust, playing with the stuff, but here's kind of idea. You can see what we done with a hypertexture material. we're creating a very interesting scenery with almost like glowing something green under layers. So of course we can go select all these materials and modify it, maybe increase glowing intensity a little bit more, pop up luminosity, okay, increase highlights. Let's make them orangey kind of. Okay, something a little bit different in this case, just a little bit enhancement. But the point is this, you can see how hypertexture can change total look of the terrain. Okay, so let's do other things. Okay, but before, let me make one more final render. And one thing, reasons why I want to do it, many times when you're using luminosity and you want light reflecting from other, you want to use the actual global radiosity, because in this case it will correctly calculating reflection of the light from the object. So if you want with different colors and kind of showing depth on this, you probably want to use it some of the global radiosity. So let's add clouds maybe. Okay, we'll also increase covering. And I want to increase my sky fog in this case. Okay, and let's render this image. Okay, right here we and you can see this is actual hypertexture. It's not a displacement of materials. This is going a bit more in 3D. And also when we start more working with the hypertexture, we need to be concerned not just about how it's look in 2-dimensional, also about 3-dimensional, what is going down there. Okay, so here's our image. Let's create new scenery. Okay, let's explore a little bit more our hypertexture. So we'll create a standard terrain, and you don't need it just standard, you can create procedurals. I'm doing this to save a little bit on the render preview time. So we have our terrain. Let's open in material editor, and we'll go inside creating volumetric material and creating hypertexture. Hypertexture material, it's interesting combinations between solid and volumetric material, so it's such a very interesting effect. Next, we'll go to density production, and let's open function editor. So inside the function editor, we'll work with density. One will add noise node, and we'll just connect. As well, I want to make a little bit softer, so I'll switch to the gardening. And also to multiply a little bit effect, I want to actually add a multiplication right here, and we'll just leave it as default 2. So let's click OK. And you notice right here we have a very interesting already kind of effect, but I want to have it more smoother. And one thing where we're going to use it, it's use distance field. So what's happening when this option is enabled, you can see how smoother it's taken in calculation the depth of the material. So it will automatically calculating, and density will increase as you're going more inside the object. So in that case, we don't have it, see, kind of shallow, kind of cutting off. In this case, we have a little bit more in a depth kind of creating. Okay, so also let's work a little bit on depth, and I'll probably just set to the 100. Okay, so we'll set to this one. If you wanted, we can increase a little bit quality, and maybe just pop up a little bit our density, so it won't be that way. Okay, and let's go, you know what, just make smaller. 5, about 5 maybe. I think that should make very good for us. Okay, here is web preview. Okay, let me switch this to preview on the screen, so we can, you can notice right here we already have this depth. It's almost like water erosion was going through this material. Again, if you want it, you can decrease even more. here. Okay, as well, we can work a little bit on a coloring. And again, you remember we have a material inside here, so we can go replace it. And let's go just say some, or maybe rocks. Here we have our rock material applied. We can go inside our edit our material more inside the function, and we can apply more to the height and other things. But we've already done similar in other ones. Right now, I want to concentrate a little bit more on the hypertexture. So again, overall density will increase density of our material. So let's go even create more, and you will notice right here we start filling those gaps. So if you think your material kind of flowing outside and too much space between objects, you can increase your density. Or example, if you want more kind of flying less between straightforward, so you just decrease or increase density. Okay, as well, if you start producing after, I recommend it will increase the time, but increasing quality boost actually will remove some of those very edge kind of looking artifacts. So that will provide better and smoother looking. So we're done right here. Okay, let's also, if we want it, we can add additional layer to ours. And you know what, I want to actually maybe create a little bit on the bottom where we have it like water maybe. Okay, let me. There you go. Let's go ahead, add water. Just maybe around here. Okay, and let's preview what we just created. Okay, and right here you can see result with hypertexture, and on the terrain we created kind of eroded maybe with water some interesting terrain. Of course, we applied materials, and with water it's got very interesting and nice result. Okay, thank you for watching this tutorial from Geek at Play Studio. Please remember visit us on our web is www.geekatplay.com.